In here, we're given a question that says the sum of three numbers is 29. The second number is 3 times the first number, and the third number is 4 more than the first number. Now, what are the three numbers? First thing to do is assign a couple of numbers to variables, because this here deals with algebraic expression, and also you need to be able to realize that we should avoid guessing and checking, because that wastes a lot of time in our way to determine what the three numbers are. So let's begin by first assessing this first statement here, which says the sum of three numbers is 29. So for the three numbers, we're going to assign letters to them, which are variables. So our first here we assign as A, our second we assign as B, and our third number we assign as variable C. Therefore, for our first statement, the sum here means addition, means that we're going to add all three numbers together, and this in this case the variable A plus our variable B plus our variable C is equal to what? Is equal to 29. So we're done with this particular sentence being transformed to an algebraic equation. Now the next step here is the second number is what? 3 times the first number. So in this case here, the second number we are assigned to be B to develop our second equation. B here is, in this case, is equal to 3 times, in this case 3 times the first number. In this case the first number is assigned to be A. This can also be written as 3A, and that is for our second expression. And finally, for our third expression is that the third number is 4 more than the first number. So in this case here, our third number is assigned to be C, and this here is what? 4 more, which in this case 4 more than means that we are adding to the first number. In this case, first number is A. And so what we realize here is, after developing our three expressions, two of these three expressions have a common variable that we can put in the first equation. In this case, our B relates to A and our C relates to A. Therefore, where I see B and C in equation 1, I put in the expression that represents those letters. In this case, our new expression from equation 1 is A, which is our first one, plus, instead of B, we're going to put 3A, write that down, and then we're going to add our C. In this case is 4 plus A, and this here is equal to what? 29. Therefore, once we have this, we can now see that everything has A on the left side of the equation, and then on the right side we have just a number. Therefore, we are going to collect like terms here. On the left side, in this case, we have A plus 3A plus A gives us what? 5A plus 4. Take note that 5A and 4 are not like terms, so they stay that way, and this here is equal to 29. So next step here is to what? Move our 4 to the other side, which means that instead of adding 4, we're going to subtract 4. And so on our next step here, we have our 5A to be equal to 29 minus 4, which gives us what? 25. And the final step here is to divide both sides by 5. And so once we have that done, we have our A to be equal to what? 5. Therefore, our A now we know to be equal to 5. We can now put our A value, which is 5, into equation 2 to determine what the B value is, where we know that 3 times A is the same thing in this case as 3 times what? Instead of A, we put 5, and this here is equal to 15. And finally, for equation 3, we know that C is equal to 4 plus A, and so since we know that 4 is going to be plus our A, which is 5, we have our answer to be 9. Therefore, we know our first number A to be equal to 5, our B to be equal to 15, and our C to be equal to 9. And this here, when you add them together, they should be equal to what? The number 29. So I hope you found this really informative in terms of how to break down a word problem here into algebraic equations, and then finding common variable relationships to determine the first variable, and then putting them into the other equations to determine the other variables. Hope you found this really informative. See you on the next one. Stay smart as always and believe in yourself.